Begin in Shreveport, where for many, a cemetery is more than just a patch of land. It's sacred ground. It's where we go to honor the lives of those we've lost, to reflect, to grieve, and to remember.
For years, viewers have shared their concerns about conditions at Forest Park and at Carver cemeteries. Years of neglect have turned these final resting places into places of dishonor. Now the call for change is growing louder.
A lot of them, they do get neglected over time, but you have people that care and are willing to restore them. I have never seen a cemetery that is owned by an individual be this bad.
Wendy Vance was among those who went to Carver Cemetery to help clean up around the graves. She restores headstones and has long complained about the conditions at Carver. The toppled graves and brush around the stones are what families complain about the most.
It startled me, just the way it looked. A tree was down over here. It was laying over a headstone, a broken headstone. It just, I couldn't understand why it looked the way it did. And that's what got me, I was hurt. I was more hurt than anything.
While they started cleaning around family graves, they also cut around others, knowing some buried here have family members who are all gone or too old to do this type of labor. Tonight, we go in depth with a look at Forest Park Cemetery. At Forest Park Cemeteries, viewers have reached out time and again, sharing stories of heartbreak and frustration. We have spent the past few weeks looking into those concerns. Now there is a new owner, and he says he is working to restore it. John Madner has more.
Families with loved ones at Forest Park cemeteries have complained about the upkeep for 2 decades. When we visited Forest Park in July, we found broken and toppled upright gravestones, footstones hidden by a carpet of grass, weeds as tall as your knees, and crumbling roads riddled with potholes.
Yeah, we have to go really, really, really slow because you could mess up the car.
Forest Park is actually 2 cemeteries, Forest Park East and Forest Park West. East is on St. Vincent Avenue near LSU Health. West is on Meriwether Road. Pam Mackey has family at Forest Park West and said it was in shambles when she last visited.
The cemetery was entrusted with those precious family members, and it's just unacceptable.
According to the Louisiana Cemetery Board, there were numerous complaints about Forest Park that were filed by families in 2024. They described the cemeteries as looking unkept, abandoned, in total disrepair, and disgraceful. When we went to Forest Park East, I decided to visit my grandparents' graves and brought gardening tools to clean them up in case I needed them. I did.
This right here is my grandmother. It's my grandmom, Dorothy Hawkins. Let's see. Wow. Yep. She died in 2010. She lived a good bit longer than he did. She was quite a character. Quite a character. But her grave is, as you can see, oh, wow. It's so overgrown.
And like so many families with loved ones here, I cleaned it up myself. There are close to 35,000 graves among the combined 134 acres, making Forest Park the largest cemetery in Shreveport. According to the Louisiana Cemetery Board, both Forest Park East and West were owned by this man, Bob Lomason, through his company, Let-'em. He was sole owner from 2004 until 2025. Forest Park Cemetery is a perpetual care cemetery, which means part of the money paid for a plot goes into a trust fund. That fund is then supposed to be used for cemetery maintenance, things like mowing the grass, maintaining the roads, and keeping gravestones level and clear of debris. The trust funds for Forest Park East and West together have $8 million. Each year, the cemetery owner receives the interest and dividends for cemetery maintenance. In 2024, Lomason received $126,000 for Forest Park East and $83,000 for Forest Park West. The condition of these cemeteries has raised questions for years about the finances, management, and oversight of these cemeteries, including questions about how they could have deteriorated so badly when there was money for maintenance. This March, Lomason sold the 2 cemeteries to this man, Matthew Seiler. Seiler agrees they are in very poor condition. He drove us around, pointing out the work he had done just that week. He's hired a professional landscape crew that is working around the clock.
Before, when I took over, you couldn't even see up this hill. Now you see a dead tree there. We'll get that taken down. But like, you couldn't even see there. Like that's how much difference it's already making.
Seiler says he has already spent $100,000 mowing, trimming, and removing dead trees and brush.
I understand the families get very stressed. I get just as stressed driving when I was driving here for the first few months. I almost didn't like driving through here because of the way it looked. It blew my mind.
Seiler says he will begin straightening stones and raising buried footstones once he has mowed and removed all of the brush. He says it would take $1 million to repave the roads, so he will just be patching them for now. But he is putting all of the available perpetual care funds, which is between $10,000 and $13,000 a month, into the cleanup.
It's all going right back into the cemetery. All of our services and any of the sales we're making, I'm putting it all back in the cemetery to get it where it needs to be, because it's a huge financial undertaking to fixing everything that we need to fix here.
For KTBS 3 News, I'm Johnette Magner.
Thank you, Johnette, for that report. We are investigating what led to the deplorable conditions at Forest Park while owned by Bob Lomason over the last 20 years. Look for additional stories in the weeks ahead.